Welcome back to New World Next Week. I'm James Corbett of CorbettReport.com.
I'm James Evan Pilato of MediaMonarchy.com. Little free libraries must be stopped. We've got that story, plus the Fed rate hike fake out. But first, cops accidentally record themselves fabricating charges against a protester. You can't make this stuff up. 3 Connecticut state troopers fabricated criminal charges against a man protesting at a DUI traffic checkpoint, according to a lawsuit filed against Connecticut State Police last week. The state troopers appear to have accidentally filmed themselves making up the charges using the protester's own confiscated video camera. The roadside protest in question was not out of the ordinary for Michael Picard, a 27-year-old East Hartford man who's something of a regular at DUI checkpoints in Connecticut. This article goes through basically the blow-by-blow of this exact encounter, of how the cops got his camera back to the car, talk about what they're going to do, and you can tell that ain't the first time they've done it before. They don't have to over-explain to each other. They can use the jargon and use the code. So, we'll drop a number on it, we'll still do this. It's really interesting, and I'll include related, as if that's not bad enough, police using 10 different types of checkpoints with even more on the way, everything from Super Bowl to DUI to seatbelts to you name it. James?
Yeah, well, I think the only difference between this story and a lot of the other times when police fabricate charges against people is that this one, they were stupid enough to record it on camera. So at least he has that evidence, and so the story gets out. But can you imagine if they had not recorded it on camera? It just would have been another, it wouldn't have even made a mention in the local newspaper, I'm sure. Oh, just another DUI guy stopped and look at this, he was resisting arrest or whatever they want to say. So there you go. And I suggest people do check out some of this guy's other videos where he's filmed himself on a couple of occasions, going through checkpoints and refusing to cooperate, and they let him by the last time, the one that I saw anyway, but this time maybe not. So it's one of those things. If everyone protested, it would be it would be a lot easier. But since only a few people do, then they single them out and they try to frame them with charges. Nothing particularly surprising there, just disappointing. But on a related note, I'll throw in the link from Joel Van Doren on Twitter, who tweeted, "NYPD admits accounting for its civil forfeiture seizure is hopeless," where the New York City is trying to get the NYPD to account for all of the stuff they steal from people who they pull over or detain. And the NYPD is saying, we can't possibly do that. That would crash our system. So we can't account for all the stuff we steal from people. It's crazy. It's a crazy system, and it is getting worse and worse as the economy falls apart. It just gets more and more open, outright looting of the average people, and that turns into riots, and those riots turn into more policing, and it's just a self-feeding spiral at this point.
Well, and I've got it actually tagged at the end of the show notes, James, but it's a fine insert right here. Your latest episode of Film, Literature, and New World Order about the Purge. It is very much kind of Purge-like right now, as chaos kind of seems to, keep spilling out in the States. So as we come to you, I'm still recording this on September 21st. This is episode 284 of New World Next Week. And today we saw in the States the Fed fake out. As always, we're just on pins and needles to see which way the numbers are going to go. But the question everyone was waiting for at today's Yellen presser, after they say they're not going to change rates, not just yet, but maybe before the end of the year, and gotcha. Yellen responded to the question that everybody wants to know, the accusation that Donald Trump made that the Fed is keeping rates low to prevent a market crash and make Hillary's re-election easier, came when basically Wall Street Journal's John Hilsenrath, who said, quote,